Good evening, everyone. It is Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys have all had a great day so far. And we're going to be giving you guys a quick update on the severe weather threat. And as you guys can see for today and into tonight, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather across northern Kentucky, eastern Ohio, at least portions of eastern Ohio near the Cleveland area, but mainly western Ohio, heading into eastern Indiana, and then back to parts of southern Michigan do have a level 1 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms, which is called a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. And as you see, we don't have any tornado threat with the storm system for tonight and into tomorrow morning. We don't have any wind threat, but we do have a hail threat though, okay? So make sure you are securing your objects if you do live in eastern Ohio or eastern Indiana, western Ohio, southern Michigan, and portions here of northern Kentucky. So if you do live in western Ohio, I would definitely recommend securing your stuff, and that includes Cincinnati, Fort Wayne, Detroit, Columbus, even heading up there towards Dayton. So those areas will definitely have to be weather aware tonight and into tomorrow morning. But even throughout the day tomorrow and into Wednesday morning will also be another day to be aware, because as you see, for tomorrow and into Wednesday morning, we do have a slight risk for severe thunderstorms, mainly across Fort Wayne, Detroit, Chicago, heading into Springfield, but even back to St. Louis, even Indianapolis, and then almost including Evansville right there. So definitely a pretty big slight risk for severe weather, with a threat being tornadoes across this area, including Fort Wayne, almost up there towards Chicago, but even a few other cities like South Bend, maybe even Lafayette included in that tornado threat right there. So I would definitely be weather aware, so make sure to do take this kind of serious tomorrow and into Wednesday morning if you do live in this area. But we might even see some storms tonight, and we will talk about that too as well. But the main concern will likely be tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning. But as you can see, for your wind threat, you do have a 15% chance of damaging winds. And then for your hail threat, not as widespread as the wind threat. However, there is a hatch risk for hail, which indicates that 2 inches in diameter is possible across Chicago and Fort Wayne, heading towards the Indianapolis area. So if you do live in those areas, you will definitely want to protect your objects before we head into Wednesday morning, if why not even secure your objects now before we head into Tuesday, because there could be a bunch of brief supercells that do form before we head into Tuesday night, but that's going to be tomorrow night, so we'll have to really keep an eye on that threat closely. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the severe weather. Now we're going to be using the HRRR model. This is a really good model to use when you're talking CAPE and stability, and as you can see, for right now, it actually does show quite a lot of instability already across southern Illinois, heading into western Kentucky. And even though we have a bunch of instability, it doesn't look like we're really going to see a whole bunch of thunderstorms tonight. But as we do head into tomorrow morning, though, we start to see that CAPE even increase more, which actually may bring a chance for some supercells. And if we go ahead and look at the dew points at that time, we're going to go ahead and change it to the NAM model, and we are going to be going to the dew point temperature. And as you see, NAM model actually wants to show some 70-degree dew points out here, which is plentiful moisture for severe thunderstorms, guys. That's a lot of moisture to work with. Holy moly. So we weren't expecting that moisture to be in play, but NAM model really wants to show that moisture a lot. Let's go ahead and see what the GFS model wants to show, and it actually does show 60-degree dew points as well. Not as intense as the NAM model, but definitely does show some pretty good dew points too as well. What about the RAP model? Well, that one actually wants to show some pretty intense 60-degree dew points. So NAM model definitely wants to show a chance for 70-degree dew points, which is pretty significant, by the way. So I would definitely be watching for thunderstorms extremely closely, and it looks like this is going to be during early early morning on Tuesday into the afternoon hours is when we already start to see this. And like I've been saying with the HRRR model, when it was showing that cape, it definitely really was showing that 1,000 joules per kilogram at that time. So looks like we might actually see an upgrade to an enhanced risk for severe weather as we do head into tomorrow morning, into tomorrow night, and into Wednesday morning, because like, really, this is only 15 hours out, guys, and that's not even enough to be considered tomorrow night, because tomorrow night from now is about 24 hours, and we're only heading 15 hours, so not really looking like this is going to be a tomorrow night event, actually looking like it could be a day event, so we will have to really watch that closely. And so it looks like the models did choose to change pretty significantly. And if we go ahead and look at the supercell composite, HRRR model really wants to show that widespread orange color, which does indicate a pretty good chance for supercells. But watch this, guys, as we do head into this day. Look at that, all that red and pink showing up indicates a really good chance for supercell development, guys, and that is very, very crazy right there, showing a bunch of 9s, 10s, 11, and 12, and as you see, that's a really high threat on the scale for supercells, guys, so that would definitely be very interesting to see. Well, what about the lightning density, though? Well, for the lightning density, it actually only shows some of this gray color, so looking like we might see a few lightning strikes as we head into tonight, but I mean, it only is showing that green and yellow color, which indicates that it might not be crazy, but it will definitely be something that we do need to keep an eye on. And what about the chance for a significant tornado? It actually does show a pretty good line of a potential significant tornado developing somewhere in this line. And just look at that, guys, 5.5. That's a pretty big threat on the scale, especially out of 10. You're talking 50. You're talking like a 50-50 chance for a tornado when you're talking half of that on the scale, guys. That's just crazy. Very crazy for the significant tornado parameter. And like I said, that's half of 10 when you're talking 5, almost even 6 too as well. So that is very, very crazy, guys. That is definitely going to need to be watched extremely closely as we do head into tomorrow, guys. So we were not really expecting the severe weather threat to really be this significant, but the models just chose to make it this significant. What about the NAM model now? Well, for the NAM model, let's go ahead and look at the cape, and as you can see, NAM model actually does want to show some pretty good cape, even some 1,000 joules per kilogram down here towards the Paducah area, and not only that, even up here towards like Indiana, Illinois, maybe even towards the Evansville area could definitely see some pretty good cape. So it is going to be an interesting event, guys, for how it's looking to play out. So very widespread 1,000 joules per kilogram is possible. But let's go ahead and look at the supercell composite, and as you see, actually got some pretty good agreement on us at least having an orange color, okay? And as we head into like tomorrow afternoon, like I said, look at that, a 5. So that's pretty significant right there, guys, if we do really see that happen. What about the significant tornado parameter? And it actually does show some yellow color too as well. So I mean, we got some pretty good agreement on us potentially having a supercell as we head into tonight. So this is gonna be very interesting, guys. What about the GFS model now? Well, for the GFS model, it actually does want to show some pretty good cape as well. Wants to show it a lot stronger across these areas, but still shows plentiful cape moving into Indiana. So it will definitely be pretty interesting to see, like I said. And even for the supercell composite, it actually does show some yellow and orange around. So that is definitely pretty severe, guys. I mean, we only have a slight risk for severe thunderstorms and a bunch of that orange color, even a bunch of that red color, even that 1,000 joules per kilogram with the HRRR model, and as well as the NAM model were shown down here towards like Evansville, even down here towards, let's say, Madisonville, even down there towards Paducah, was really showing that cape being pretty strong. So I mean, we could definitely be talking a 5% chance for a tornado getting extended all the way to down here, but I'm just gonna say I'm not in charge of this severe weather threat, so the Storm Prediction Center can choose to extend this if we wanted to, but for right now the models are showing that there should be an enhanced risk down here to the south across southern Indiana, western Kentucky, just for how big these supercells are looking to be, because again with the HRRR model it's looking like we're going to see a bunch of red, orange color, which definitely indicates a good chance for supercells, and that could be across places like Evansville, Henderson, Paducah, back through much of the state of Indiana, because the HRRR model just wants to show a bunch of that, even across a bunch of southern Illinois. So I mean, this is very, very crazy for how the models are showing it, guys. But what I think is going to play out is that we see an upgrade to an enhanced risk across this area right here, and it could be pretty widespread too as well. So we'll have to really watch closely and see how it really wants to play out. But I'm surprised the models chose to show this threat even more significant compared to what the Storm Prediction Center was showing. So we're going to need to really watch these areas down here towards Evansville, Paducah, even back through Mount Vernon, Illinois, St. Louis, Indianapolis. So just more areas south of this 5% tornado threat will likely need to be watched too as well. So we're watching for a potential significant tornado threat even down here towards southern Indiana, like I said. So make sure to be weather aware if you do live in southern Indiana, western Kentucky, or even southern Illinois, because I mean, again, these models really want to show that tornado threat and supercell composite being pretty high, guys, and I'm not joking about that being pretty high. And so I definitely do think this could be a significant severe weather event. And again, the NAM model showing 70-degree dew points, guys. Just look at that 70-degree dew point with the NAM model. So I mean, it's crazy. Look at that 70-degree dew point already showing up there in St. Louis, Missouri. Look at that 70-degree dew point here across western Kentucky and a little bit of southwest Indiana. So I mean, I do think this could be even more crazier compared to what's going to be happening up here. This kind of does tell me that they should extend that 5% tornado threat down here towards southern Indiana and western Kentucky. But like I said, I'm not choosing to extend the threat. They're choosing to show it. So we're definitely going to have to be watching these severe weather threats very closely, guys. I know the Storm Prediction Center only has those areas in a marginal risk, but for right now, it's looking like we do need to be watching this area more compared to the areas that we were just talking about, like these areas. But I mean, we got a ton of moisture to work with, a ton of cape, just everything we need for severe weather down here. And so, like I said, they should have issued an enhanced, or if why not even a slight risk for severe weather down here towards Evansville and Paducah. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to be extremely weather aware if you live in southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, western Kentucky, back into portions of southern Illinois. So make sure to be on high alert for a potential significant tornado. And like I said, I know the Storm Prediction Center doesn't have a significant threat for severe weather as of right now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that because of how significant the models are choosing to be. Like I said, 70-degree dew points with a bunch of cape to work with the HRRR model and NAM model showing almost 1,000 joules per kilogram in that area. So pretty good agreement on a potential significant severe weather event, like I said, and so we'll need to watch very closely. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.